This right here is my Pokemon cartridge collection that I've been accumulating ever since I was a young kid. Starting here, Pokemon Gold. That was actually not my first game. My first game was Pokemon Silver, but for some reason, I don't have that cartridge, don't know where it is, don't know where my original Game Boy Color is, my Game Boy Advance SP. Things have come in and out over the years, but this is what I've accumulated. And back when we were just kids, my brother and I got Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Silver and Game Boy Colors for Christmas. He got Gold, I got Silver, and that's what started my Pokemon journey and my love for Pokemon. And since then, I've played every single Pokemon game. Now, I don't have every single cartridge here because a lot of the games I've gotten as digital downloads, whether that's on the 3DS or on the Nintendo Switch or now Switch 2. But next year, I am turning 30 years old and I'm starting to feel really nostalgic about all these Pokemon cartridges. I look at something like this and I just remember a lot of amazing memories I had in Pokemon Silver from the first time I played it, my first starter, my first shiny Pokemon, moving to Crystal, then into Gen 3, then Gen 4, then Gen 5, 6, 7, 8, and now 9, and the Legends game. So in this video, I want to go through some of these cartridges and see if there's any Pokemon even on any of these cartridges. Now, as a disclaimer, a couple years ago when I refound all my old cartridges, I realized that the batteries in them were dead. So I did swap the batteries in the Gold, the Crystal, and the Pokemon Emerald down here. I can't remember if I did it for Ruby or Leaf Green, but for the sake of this video, these cartridges are not going to have the original save files and probably won't have anything on them in terms of Pokemon, but we'll still check anyway. To check these older games, we've got a modded Game Boy Advance right here that has an IPS display. I bought this off of someone on Facebook Marketplace and it works like a dream because I don't have my original yellow Game Boy Color. I don't have my blue Game Boy Advance SP anymore. Again, that's somewhere out in the world with my original copy of Pokemon Silver. I don't know where it is, but honestly, I'm not, super nostalgic for the originals. I want to have Pokemon Silver again just to have it, but I don't necessarily need my first copy ever. For the DS era of games, I've got my new Nintendo 3DS XL that I got on release day. And for the 3DS, some of the games are actually digital downloads, so we'll take a look at those as well. All right, let's clear this out and let's get started with Pokemon Gold. Again, I changed the battery on this. This was my brother's copy. Oh, there is something. Yeah, so we haven't even started. Yeah, okay, so there's not going to be anything on this copy of Gold. And it's probably going to be the same for Crystal. This is the replaced battery, you can tell by the yellow outline. But this is my original copy of Pokemon Crystal. Nothing. All right, let's move on. Next up, we got Pokemon Ruby. My brother got Sapphire, I got Ruby. This is my original Ruby copy, so let's give it a go. Okay, we have something on here. Steel with an exclamation point. We've got 18 hours played, 26 Pokemon, 7 badges. And I was shiny hunting, not shiny hunting, but just hunting for Feebas, it looks like. Let's see what we got in the party. All right, so taking a look at the party, we've got Gardevoir, Groudon, of course. I loved using the legendaries. Get mad at me if you want, but they're fun to use. They're hard to catch, and so when I caught it, I was going to use it. Pelipper, Shedinja. Why was I using a Shedinja? Oh, I did catch a Feebas. Look at that. Wow, dude. A Feebas in Pokemon Ruby. That's awesome. And we've got Wailmer. Now I want to see if this spot that I'm fishing is the Feebas spot. All right, let's see if we're in the spot that catches Feebas. Carvana. Okay, let's just run from that. But dude, it's actually crazy seeing a Feebas. Okay, I'm just gonna look at this. I'll remember this spot. All right, let's fly out of here and see if we can take a look at the box and see if there's anything in it. If we've got a Feebas in our party, there's probably something good in this box. All right, let's just move Pokemon. Ninjask, Castform. Okay, that's our starter, the Blaziken. Another Feebas, dude. Okay, so we've got 2 Feebas. We got Blaziken, Sharpedo. Nothing too crazy. No shinies, I don't think. Oh, dude. A shiny Magikarp? No way. What? Bro, why did I stop playing this copy of Ruby? That's crazy. Is that shiny? It looks shiny. Yeah, you can see the yellow numbers up there. That is a... Oh, dude, it's not going to focus. That is a shiny Magikarp. That's crazy. I am the original trainer, too. So I didn't trade for that. Dude, this is actually a cracked copy of Ruby. Okay, so that's everything in the boxes, but Pokemon Ruby, absolute goated game. I was killing it, and now I just need one more badge. Maybe I'll do a little playthrough of that. All right, that's enough of that one. Now we're gonna go Pokemon Emerald. This, I had to change the battery in, and I started a Nuzlocke on it sometime last year. So it's not gonna have much on it, but I remember I had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours on this Emerald copy. I did complete the decks as a kid. Obviously, it's still not complete now. We got, what, 9 Pokemon, 1 badges. Yeah, because this is a Nuzlocke playthrough. But let's see what we're rocking with. As you can see, they're all named, so let's go in here. We've got Psycho the Ralts, Swampman as the Mudkip, Zigzagoon as the Zigzagoon, Aspen as Poochyena, because my dog's name is Aspen and she looks just like a Poochyena, Skydad Talo, Rupert the Sableye. And I doubt I have anything in my box. But let's go check. And I'm gonna be honest, as a kid growing up, Pokemon Emerald was my favorite game. It's the game I spent the most amount of time in. It's sad that my, oh, these two did die in the in the playthrough. Sea Snake the Magikarp and Explode the Whismur. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Oh, what else we got over here? Oh no, these are the dead ones. Rain the Wingull, the Rip Box. So these are actually ones I can use. And that's it. That's everything. So nothing in that one, but Pokemon Emerald was my favorite one growing up. And honestly, I still love it to this day. I need more remakes of Gen 3. Even though we had Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, I want more remakes. So those were all the Game Boy cartridges. Now let's move on to Gen 4 with my original copy of Pokemon Pearl. Now here's the issue with a lot of these newer games. I used Pokemon Bank and transferred stuff up to Pokemon Home, so I truly don't know if there's going to be anything on any of these cartridges. So I haven't looked at these in years. I don't play a lot of these DS games other than Soul Silver and Heart Gold, but I honestly can't remember the last time I played either of those two. So I truly don't know if there's going to be anything on this cartridge at all. So we got 3 badges. Yeah, so I replayed this game dozens and dozens of times. So let's just see what we got. In our bag, we've got a Golbat that I was probably trying to turn into a Crobat because Crobat's one of my favorite Pokemon. We got Prinplup, the starter, and Bibarel. Okay, let's go to the box maybe. See if there's anything in the box. I don't even know where we're at. I mean, it really doesn't matter because I'm not going to be playing this again. Now, I know people love Gen 4 a lot. For me personally, it wasn't my favorite generation. I'm not as nostalgic to it in the way that I am Gen 2 and Gen 3. Gen 4 and Gen 5, I was like in late middle school and high school when these ones came out. And, I didn't love them the way I love the original 2, but that's honestly just bias from Gen 2 being my first gen and Gen 3 being my elementary school one that I played the most of. So not much in the boxes. We got a Ponyta and a Cleffa. Nothing going on in Pokemon Pearl. Next up, we got my copy of Pokemon Platinum. I got this in 2021 at a local... Oh man, dude, is something broken in here? This is not going in. Uh-oh. There we go. I got this copy of Pokemon Platinum at a local pawn shop in 2021 for 30 bucks before the price boom. There we go. It's actually working. And I was doing a Nuzlocke, didn't play much through it after a handful of hours. So there might not be nothing on this. Might not be nothing. Good English, Steel. There might not be anything good on this, but let's take a quick look and see if I've got anything of note, because I know I didn't finish the playthrough on this copy of Pokemon Platinum. All right, we got 6 hours, 4 badges, 81 Pokemon though, so we will see if anything good is on here. We're in Veilstone City. Let's check out the party. All right, we got another Golbat. As you can tell in this generation, I loved Crobat. Crobat is such a cool Pokemon. It was a sweeper for me. Prinplup again, so I like my water types. We got that, we got that, we got the Egg Togepi, we got Webster. Dude, Gligar, that's the name of the Pokemon. Where is the... Dude, I don't even remember the layout of this game. Just got to get to a box and see if there's anything good in the box. A Lickitung. And that's it. Just a lick-a-tongue. So yeah, as you can tell, I've not done much in this copy of Pokemon Platinum, but it's cool to have it. Next on the list, easily one of my favorite Pokemon games of all time, Pokemon Soul Silver. I'm partial to Soul Silver because Pokemon Silver was my first game in Gen 2 when I was a kid. And so when Soul Silver came out, I was extremely excited. And to this day, this game still holds up. Now, I restarted this copy dozens of times because I loved this game. I did Nuzlocke. I did everything you can think of with Pokemon Soul Silver. So I don't know what's going to be on this cartridge. It's definitely not going to be my first save file ever, but we can kind of see what's going on. Well, there is no save file. So it's a little sad because I have spent an insane amount of time playing this game, but for the sake of this video, we will move on. Next up, we're going to move to Gen 5 right now. We got Pokemon White. I'm going to be honest, when I was younger, I did not like Gen 5. It was at the age, in high school where I was really partial to Gens 2 and 3, and I thought anything after that was kind of trash because I just didn't love Gen 4. As I've gotten older, I'm almost 30 years old now, Gen 5 is dope. Gen 5 was such a good gen, and at some point I want to go back and fully replay through Pokemon White and Pokemon Black 2, because I really didn't appreciate them when I was a kid, and I really should have because they are amazing games. All right, we got 0 badges, Pokedex of 3, 20 minutes played. As you can tell, I love to restart games and then just never play it again. But we are currently in the Pokemon Center. Let's take a look at what we've got. Snivy. That's all we got. Anything in the box? As you can tell, this was probably high school the last time I restarted this game. Nothing in the box. Okay, we're gonna get Pokemon White out of here. Maybe there'll be something good in Black 2. Here we go, Pokemon Black 2. Let's see if there's anything good in here. Again, it's probably gonna be the same thing because I was notorious for wiping my save files and restarting the game, because honestly, that's what you did as a kid. You played through it, enjoyed it, restarted, played through it again, enjoyed it. So, I'm not too mad at myself about that. And again, my brother got Pokemon Black and White 2. I got Pokemon White and Black 2. Okay, we got 8 badges, 29 hours played. Let's see what we got going on. No, let's not launch C-Gear. Yes, that's fine. I honestly couldn't tell you what C-Gear is right now. It's been so long since I've loaded up this game. All right, let's see what we were rocking with in the party. We got a Fainted Ampharos. So we got Ampharos. Met in 2012, dude. 2012, it's got the Lucky Egg. We got Vanillux, also met in 2012. So the last playthrough I did of this game was in 2012, which I would have been 16 at the time. We got Crobat. Again, there's the Crobat. You guys can see a theme here. Now in the modern games, I don't use Crobat, but when I was younger in high school, middle school, everything, I thought Crobat was sick because the speed stat was so high. Cobalion, again, if I'm catching a legendary, I'm using that legendary. Emboar, so that would have been my starter. Okay, so only 5 in the party. Don't know why I did that, but let's check the box, see if we got anything else good in here. I've got high hopes for this one, actually. We got Rattata, Volcarona. Okay, that's pretty cool. Zoroark. We got Virizion. Wow, nothing, dude. Why was I just not catching Pokemon back in the day? Oh, we got Azumarill, too. Okay. Dude, I'm sad I didn't catch anything. Well, okay, here's actually the thing. Looking at this box, this was probably about the time Pokemon Bank rolled around, and I would start to move my Pokemon from these games into Pokemon Bank so that I could then move them up to the Switch whenever the Switch would come out later. So a lot of the Pokemon I had in these games are in Pokemon Home, and we're not going to take a look at Pokemon Home in this video, but in a future video, if you guys want, we can take a look at Pokemon Home because my Pokemon Home is pretty full. All right, so we got nothing of note there in Pokemon Black 2. And that cartridge is kind of sticking in there. Next up, we're going to go with Pokemon Y. I started with Pokemon Y in 2013. My brother got Pokemon X, and then eventually I bought Pokemon X after the fact too. That was really the time in 2013 when I started to buy both games when they would come out. Come on, Pokemon Y. You're a 3DS cart. You shouldn't be struggling to load. Dude, those pins are clean. Why is it not? There we go. Just like the good old times, sometimes you just gotta blow some air into the cartridge and it works. And yes, I grew up with a Nintendo 64, so I am very used to blowing air into the cartridges of 007, Mario Kart, Smash Bros. To make those games work. But Pokemon Y, everything's probably transferred out of this. We got 22 hours in this one. I'll be shocked if there's anything in the boxes here. Zangoose, Galvantula, Hydreigon, Drapion, Charizard, Lanoon, okay. Gen 6 got a lot of hate when it came out, and I do think these games were way too easy. But I don't think the complete hate was justified because these games were actually a lot of fun. I remember playing this game a lot, both Y and X, and really enjoying it when I was playing it. All right, organized boxes. Let's see what we got. Oh, we got some stuff in these boxes. Okay, so I didn't transfer everything out. Let's see if there's anything good. Okay, we got a Machop with Pokerus. Who's the original trainer? Not me. Okay, so someone traded that in with Pokerus, so that's kind of sad to see. I don't think we're going to have... Yeah, we got a French Dodrio. This was the era where I started trading. You know, you had the Wonder Trade or the Global Trade. I can't remember what it was called. But I was trading so much to get different Pokemon from different regions. And yeah, I loved it. All right, what do we got down here? Medicham, Greninja. So this was probably my starter. Yeah, this would have been my starter, the Greninja. In my Pokemon Home, I think the biggest flex in my life is I have the Ash Greninja from 2016, but we'll touch on that in a future video. Honedge. Aegislash is one of my favorite Pokemon ever. I think that's the best thing to come from Generation 6. I'm trying to see if there's any shinies or anything, but yeah, I loved Aegislash in this generation, so much so that I even used it in Pokemon Legends ZA that just came out. Charizard or Charmander. All right, so nothing crazy, just some traded Pokemon. Yeah, just some traded Pokemon with Pokerus, nothing shiny, but probably the best save file we've seen so far. But as you notice, there's no legendaries in here, and that's because I transferred them all up. Now we're gonna go Pokemon X. I don't know if there's anything on this file. Okay, we got even more time. Oh, this was someone else's file that I bought from GameStop and never deleted. So I don't remember anything about this account, Levi. Whoever Levi is, we're gonna take a look at your game. All right, let's see what we got. Tropius, Charizard, Greninja. Let's see if it's the starter or the Ash Greninja. It wouldn't be the Ash Greninja at this point. Yeah, it's a starter. I mean, Greninja was sick. So, and then he had a Fennekin into Delphox, whatever the middle evolution is. Let's take a look at the box and see if there's anything good in here. All right, it's gonna be the same thing. I probably bought this game, looked through, found some good Pokemon, traded them up to Pokemon Bank, and then forgot this cartridge ever existed. Yep, nothing good, but Levi, thank you for your service. Okay, next up, I think the last cartridge we have to look at is Omega Ruby. I got this my freshman year of college. I put an insane amount of time into this game. I loved Omega Ruby. This was probably my favorite 3DS release. 189 hours, Pokedex of 719, 8 badges. I'm at the Battle Resort. Let's see what we got going on. Again, I spent a lot of time in this game. I did a lot of hunting for certain Pokemon. I did competitive battles. I did a lot of trading, everything. So we got Talonflame, probably hatching eggs is what I was doing. With Flame Body and Trace, yep, to get specific abilities. Okay, 6. So this was definitely my egg breeding era. But let's see what we got in the Pokedex. Again, everything could be transferred up. I have no idea. It's been so long since I've opened this game. But let's see what we got. Nothing. Yep, move to bank. So let's take a look at the battle box though. We had Gastrodon with 5 IVs. We had Zoroark with only 1 IV. We had a Scizor that was traded, 5 IVs. Shiny Chansey, definitely not legit, 6 IV shiny. Someone traded that to me, but I used it. This was my, oh, this was a gift superior. That's cool, actually. We got a Ditto that had 3 IVs that I was using for breeding. His name is Blub. Great name, Steel. And unfortunately, everything else is gone except, oh, that's actually kind of sick. What Pikachu is that? That's sick, dude. It's got Pokerus. All my Pokemon have Pokerus from traded Pokemon. This was actually my freshman year of college. In my freshman year of college, I did a presentation in my speech class on how to breed for good IV competitive Pokemon. I got 100% on that speech. It was really well done. It was a 10-minute speech, and I was practicing what I was preaching. So this is sick though. It's got Lightning Rod. I should probably have transferred that up because I don't think I've got that Pokemon. So there's nothing else in here, which is unfortunate. For how many hours I had in this game, it's all been moved to Pokemon Bank and then subsequently Pokemon Home. But I remember I loved Pokemon Omega Ruby. Now it's time to take a look at the digital downloads and see if there's anything on any of these save files, or if I just bought the games when they came out just to have them in my collection. We'll start with Pokemon Yellow. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I don't think I've ever played Pokemon Yellow on the Virtual Console, but we will see if there's even a save file. 0 badges, 46 minutes played, so it's literally just gonna be the Pikachu. Right behind me, we got Robert, Carl, Jim, and Zoe. Dude, what was my naming convention? Okay, Nidoran, Robert. We got Carl, which is gonna be a Pidgey, for sure. We got Jim the Pikachu, and Zoe is probably Nidorina. Yep, there we go. That's all we got. There's definitely not gonna be anything in the boxes if there's only 4 Pokemon in my party. All right, let's check Pokemon Silver. My first game ever, but again, this is the Virtual Console version. I probably haven't even played it, and if I have, it's probably just been about like 40 minutes of playtime. So let's see what we got on here. Oh, 11 badges, 25 in the Pokedex, time unknown because the clock is wrong. Let's see what we got in the party, because we've actually done a lot in this game. Dova, because Skyrim Dovahkiin. Skyrim's my favorite game of all time. Dragonite, of course. Lugia, gotta use Lugia if he's in the party, bro. Feraligatr, that would have been my starter. Love Feraligatr. Shiny Gyarados, it's free shiny, you gotta take it and gotta use it. Bayleaf, okay, so we're using 2 starters, and dude, why did I always have the Egg Togepi in my party? What is it with me and having 5 useful Pokemon and then either having an empty slot or just nothing of interest? Oops. Okay, so we got Snoredaddy the Snorlax, Nidoran, Quilava, another Feraligatr, Flaffy, Sudowoodo, another Lugia, another Lugia, another Lugia, another Lugia, another Lugia, another Lugia, Quilava. So I was definitely exploiting a cloning glitch, which they didn't patch out of these Virtual Console releases. So when I got Lugia, I definitely cloned him, because I bet the original trainer is going to be me every single time. Yeah, OT Steel, OT Steel. So they're all technically the exact same Lugia, just been, you know, cloned. And then we have our Crobat, of course. You always have to have Crobat in these older games. Honestly though, that's a pretty good save file. That was the one I was expecting to have nothing on it, and it actually had probably the most amount of interesting stuff on it so far. Okay, now let's take a look at Pokemon Heart Gold. Again, it's a digital download, so I don't know if there's going to be anything on this file. I was shocked by Pokemon Silver. I can't believe there was actually something on that, but this one, I don't know if there's going to be anything, because realistically, I just played Soul Silver all the time. Okay, just under 5 hours, 4 badges, 14 in the decks, so probably not much of anything to look at. We got Quilava as our starter, a Weepinbell, Shredder, the Sandshrew, probably carrying the team at level 6, obviously, and then we had a Ditto. Again, this was the era where I was just breeding a ton of Pokemon. Let's go to the Pokemon Center and see if there's anything in here. See, now these Gen 2 maps, I know the layout by heart because I've played them so much. Please have something in here. Okay, we got Goldeen, Zubat, ready to become a Crobat, for sure. Togepi, Sudowoodo, Growlithe, Stantler, Magikarp, and a Hoot. So nothing crazy, but that's Heart Gold. Let's take a look at Alpha Sapphire. I don't think there's going to be anything on this one, honestly, because I literally would just play Omega Ruby. 3 minutes played, 0 badges. Did I even get a starter? No, I don't have any Pokemon yet. Useless copy right there. So now let's check out Pokemon Moon. And for Pokemon Moon and Ultra Sun, I can pretty much guarantee everything is going to be gone, because Pokemon Bank exists and I was transferring like a madman. But we have 87 hours played, a Pokedex of 302, and it's going to be sad when we open up the box and there's going to be absolutely nothing in it. We got an Absol and a Dragonite, of course. Had to use those. I love Dragonite. Dragonite's so sick. Okay, we got some stuff. We got a Wishy-Washy, Rowlet, and a Minior with Pokerus. Fearow. Okay, we just got some basic Pokemon in here. Nothing crazy. A German Pikipek. Delmise is another underrated Pokemon. I don't think it's that good, but I think it looks cool. Okay, so I was clearly trying to breed for specific IVs. Okay, there's actually some stuff in here. So this box is called Use. What was the other box called? Just box 4. So these were Pokemon I told myself I was going to use. Use for what? This is such a random assortment of Pokemon. Muku. Stupidest named Pokemon ever. Soon to be Crobat, of course. Klefki was pretty cool. I don't know why I have a bunch of Lillipups. And all these giant gaps in these boxes are probably where good Pokemon were that I, moved to Pokemon Bank. These are what I was willing to trade. Honchkrow, Yungoos, Drifblim. Nothing exciting. A level 1 Mimikyu with 3 IVs. Okay, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. I wasn't the original trainer, so someone... Oh, my brother traded me this. Race! Let's take a look at your Gyarados you sent me. So my brother and I were trading back in the day. Look at that, dude. Shout out Race. He met it just after Christmas. Dude, okay, so today is December 27th that I'm filming this. In 2 days, that will have been 9 years ago that he caught this Gyarados. That's actually pretty sick. Apparently level 46 is when he met it. And that was his number when he played football in college. So that, we got to keep that forever. That's actually sick. Doesn't make any sense for you guys, but for me, that's a pure nostalgia trade right there. Legendary, yeah, they're all gone. Nothing good in here. Yeah, just traded Pokemon probably. Evolve. Oh, it's got 2 IVs, okay. It's not bad. Again, I was doing a lot of competitive Pokemon at this time. Shiny, empty. Breed, Battletree, Mimikyu, Tapu Lele, Salamence, and Poliwrath. Pokerus. Okay, so a lot of these are going to be like stuff that was traded to me that was probably hacked. I have no way of checking, but a lot of it's going to be stuff that was either traded to me, someone traded me a Pokemon that had Pokerus, and then I just infected every Pokemon I could possibly infect with Pokerus. There's the Crobat, dude. Every copy. There's got to be a Crobat because I loved Crobat. All right, that's it. That's actually a pretty good save file. Pretty happy with that. And now for the grand finale of these 3DS era games, Pokemon Ultra Sun. Again, same thing. I got this one when I was in college. Me and my roommates all got Pokemon and we're playing as digital downloads because we wanted it right at midnight. 41 hours, not bad. Not the most, not the worst. That's a good amount of time spent in the game. All right, we're in the exact same spot. Let's see what we got going on here. We got Absol the Catcher, Melodic, Smeargle, Ampharos, and Kabuto. Pretty good party right there. I remember I always used Absol for catching because it could have False Swipe and Thunder Wave. Okay, this was my party. Shiny Kingdra from Spain, so clearly hacked by someone. Talonflame was really good in this game, and it had a Flame Body, of course. Komodo, pretty good. Garchomp, pretty basic. Evolve, what were we wanting to evolve? Basculin and Cubone. Okay, we got a lot of stuff in here. Just going to do a quick sweep. Nothing's going to be shiny, I don't think. It's all going to have Pokerus, though. I was really adamant on making sure every Pokemon, if it had the potential of being used, would be given Pokerus. And these are all going to be the Pokemon that, like, you know, I bred for that one. Like, it's nothing crazy. All the, like, really crazy stuff, unfortunately, is probably sent to Pokemon Box already. Primarina, that's from someone else. It's French. I don't think there's going to be any shinies here at all. Yeah, these are just kind of like the excess boxes. Nothing crazy. Box 1, yep, so this is just like when I was catching during the game. We got our Charizard right there. Alakazam traded over, of course. Level 1 Eevee. Love breeding for Eevee. Soon to be Crobat, of course. There it is. Had to have the Crobat. Level 92, so you know that Crobat got used, buddy. Decidueye, of course. Honestly, still a GOAT Pokemon. So sick. Nothing good in here. Sharpedo, of course. I loved Sharpedo. And I think we got Volcarona, which I thought was a legendary growing up, but I'm still unsure of Volcarona's status, actually. And there's all the legendaries. Legendary 2. The legendary Frostlass. The legendary Oranguru and Passimian. Yeah, there's not going to be anything. There's not going to be any shinies, too. Breed for Dex. Nice naming convention seal. Very straightforward. Claydol. There we go. That's everything. That's actually, honestly, a pretty good save file. While most of everything that was good was transferred up, there's still some decent things in Pokemon Ultra Sun. And that is my Pokemon collection, from the cartridges to digital downloads, all the way from the Game Boy Color to the 3DS, the new Nintendo 3DS XL. If you want to see another video of this where we go through everything in the Nintendo Switch and in the Switch 2, let me know down below, as well as if we want to go through my Pokemon Home, because a lot of the stuff that's missing from these cartridges are in Pokemon Home to this day, because I transferred everything from bank to home, and there's a lot of really great stuff in there. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a like, subscribe for more of these videos. I also stream over on Twitch, so check that out with the link below, and I will see you guys next time. And again, let me know what you think of my collection. Let me know what I need to add. I definitely need Pokemon Silver to go right here. It won't be my original copy, but it's the first one I ever had, and it's the most sentimental to me.